Well, whew, that was a doozy. Need a little water. Yeah, that's a hell of a piece. Hell of a piece. So that was Chopin's. That is to say, this Chopin, Friedrich Francois Chopin's Etude. It was his Etude in C Major. It could be looked at as his first Etude, even though I don't think that's the first one he wrote. In fact, I know that it wasn't. But it is the first in the set of 12 Etudes, which I, Zach James, will be bringing to you live. Well, not live, recorded. This is recorded. I will be bringing to you every Tuesday on Etudesday, as it will be here. And I'll actually be in Tucson, where I presently am. So it's going to be Etudesdays from Tucson, where every Tuesday for the next, 12 weeks, I'm going to play you a different Etude from the Opus 10 set of Etudes. There's actually two sets of 12 Etudes, so there's 24, and there's another little set of 3. I'll probably do all those at some point as well. In fact, I plan to, but for now, we've got number 1. And wasn't that a doozy? What a way to start. Just like bum bum bing bum, that's a really that's something. That's cool stuff. That's immediately striking. I was immediately struck by it myself when I first heard it. I thought it was pretty much as cool as it gets. Still do. That was, I've been playing it a lot, kind of preparing it for this little video, so it's not as numinous to me as hopefully it is to you, whoever is viewing this and hasn't heard it before. I don't know. I don't know if I'd say this is a typical Chopin piece. In a way, I suppose it is. In the way that it's badass, that's typical of Chopin. Chopin's very badass, so in that way, it's a typical Chopin piece. But it's also perhaps not, in the sense that, so these etudes, what they are is, etude is the French word for study. So, and study in the sense of like lesson, not like a verb, the verb to study, but like, this is my study. I have a study here. I'm reading, a study guide is more what we'd say in English. But in French, you just say etude. And he wasn't the first to write etudes, but he definitely was the first to pimp them out, because he really did that with his set. And so this is his first published set, this Opus 10. Opus means work, for those of you not in the know on that. It's a fun word, opus, like the penguin. Penguin, that was the cartoon Opus in the newspaper. He was cool. Anyway, so yeah, this is his first set. The set is generally meant to be played, to an extent, it's meant to be played all together, even though the pieces themselves are pretty much totally unrelated. But so each etude, each study is supposed to have kind of the theme, a sort of a technical theme, because that's what you're supposed to be studying, is a particular type of technique. So in this one, you can notice that the whole piece is just going up and down the keyboard. And it's just, it does repeat itself in a couple places, but not a lot. And so it's just this insane collection of what we call arpeggios, and our arpeggio is just a broken up chord, and a chord is just, so that's a note. Any single note on the keyboard is a note. Any single key is a note. Any 2 or more keys, you can get 10 or more at the piano. That's a chord. Anyway, that's a little side. So arpeggios are just a chord, which is just more than one note, but it played broken up. So Chopin was he didn't invent an arpeggio, and he didn't invent an etude that was dealing with arpeggios, that was designed to improve your arpeggio playing. In fact, that's pretty much super standard practice for everyone. But So like a standard etude, or a standard etude for arpeggios might be something, as you can see, I haven't really been practicing the standard ones. I've been practicing the Chopin. But yeah, so they're usually kind of boring until Chopin came along and, as I said, pimped them out. And so people were really struck by them. Clearly, this is an insane piece. Goes through a bunch of different keys. He starts in C major, which is all these white keys. It's a C major scale. It's all on the white keys. But he ends up going all over tonally speaking. That was, that's a massive A major chord, so a totally different, key. But it all works, and he seamlessly weaves it together. Chopin was just an incredible genius, and there's nothing in this piece, there's no fluff at all, which is I don't want to say that's unusual for Chopin to imply that he was especially fluffsome, but yeah, he really he was known to be romantic, let's say, just very expressive and effusive, and not. I don't know. He really didn't. I don't know. He didn't have a lot of notes. He was brief. I would say brevity was a hallmark of his. But this in particular is just a very lean piece. It's a lean Chopin. So because the whole piece is just that. You never do more than an octave in the left hand. That's literally. That's all it does the whole time. That's it, and it's kind of difficult to focus just on that simple thing, just the right hand's going so crazy. So obviously it's more of a etude for the right hand, but anyway, it's just really cool. It's got an incredibly exalting character. I'm looking out the window here. I can see a couple of mountains in the distance. I will now attempt to. There we go. I don't know if those are visible at all, but if they are, that's cool. Because they're cool for me. And, I think, so a lot of Chopin's pieces, a lot of pieces in general get nicknames. Case in point, the Moonlight Sonata. That's, Beethoven didn't name it the Moonlight Sonata. I don't know how much he really cared, but, Chopin definitely did not name this etude the Waterfall Etude, but it is often called that. And it's not terrible. Waterfalls are often things of this piece, exalting, majestic, just kind of incredible in a way. So it's not terrible. To me, I get more of a mountainous quality to it, and it's funny as I'm recording this in my software, and the MIDI lines of MIDI data as I record them look like these little mountains. Let me show you. So once again, remove the camera. Apologize for that. But you can see here, that's what I just recorded. It makes these little mountains. It's pretty neat. Anyway, I think it's exalting in the way a mountain is, and it's sturdy in the way a mountain is, and kind of lean and rugged. These are desert mountains. Not a lot of trees, mostly rock. Some, but it's sparse, there's not a lot of excess there. This piece does not have a lot of excess. This is a good piece, this would be a good piece for working out. If you're going to work out to classical music, I'd put this on the playlist probably. I don't know, try it, let me know. Leave a comment if you do, that'd be cool. While I'm at it, leave a comment in general, please, and especially press those like and subscribe buttons if you haven't done that, wherever you're viewing this. Chopin's called the poet of the piano. He's got a lot of tender pieces. dark pieces, you know. Anyway, he does, and so this one is really in that way somewhat atypical, because it's like you caught him in a really sunny mood that day, which is great. Chopin on the sunny side. There is you know, some somewhat darker moments in there. A nice little D minor chord there. It's beautiful. Goes right back to that was a D minor seventh to a G minor seventh, all misarranged though. That's, you know, that's something you can see. I'm gonna tilt the camera so you can. So it's like, so arpeggios. A normal arpeggio would be like this. Something like that, just very simple. In the, you know, your hands are never spread more than an octave. So these arpeggios in this etude are like this. It's even bigger. I mean, you know, it's just it's a real stretch for the fingers. Like I've been working on this piece off and on for years, and I think probably have only been slightly comfortable playing it recently, and it's definitely just slightly comfortable. Like, this is a very tough piece. If any of you are out there playing it and struggling or thinking about playing it, just, yeah, I mean, it's a biatch, but a lot of great stuff in there. If you're a composer or an arranger or something like that, this piece will give you a ton to think about, because the modulation, you know, it's a good exercise to break down the chords. And, you know, I don't know. I'm messing it up. Oh well, but it's fun. There's a lot to be learned about music in this piece. You know, perhaps about life as well. I don't know. What might you learn about this piece? I guess maybe when it's sunny, you know, bust out. You know, go crazy. I mean, go jump in the lake, because you know, it's not always sunny. You know, so that's a takeaway. That's always a good takeaway, which I invite you all to now take away from this. So yeah, fun piece, powerful piece, triumphant. Said that before. I'd say it's rather triumphal. You know, particularly that nice last. Yeah. Slam, 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 slam. It's a triumphal slam that you should have just. You want it to be a resounding slam. You know, who doesn't like that as a way to end a piece? So, yep, that's it. Please tune in next week to Etudesday. Well, we'll be breaking down the next Etude. Yeah, won't that be cool? That one's a much different character, equally difficult, and yeah, check it out. You'll like it. It's mysterious at this point, but it won't be after you check it out, so check it out. And also, if you want more on this etude, such as an in-depth tutorial, please head over to my Patreon, www.patreon.com/forward or back, whatever the most common slash is, back, I think, Zach James at Patreon. Check that out, and you will have, along with all the other Etudesdays drops and the other piece drops, I will give you an in-depth tutorial about how to loosen up your hands on this difficult piece, and how to you know, kind of own that triumph, so that you can feel exalted as well, instead of just worn the hell out, which you can really feel when practicing this. I felt that many times whilst practicing this. And you really get that forearm blast, those nerves, some nerves running. Anyway, I'll get all into that at the Patreon in-depth tutorial. Also, I will jam out on it. I will play it in a cool sounds with different keyboards and synthesizers and things, and do some kind of just like off the cuff arranging on it. So check that out. Yeah, patreon.com Zach James. And again, please, here, YouTube, wherever you're watching this, like, subscribe, and share to everyone that you're ever gonna meet ever. That would be super helpful. If you got time. If not, no worries. I appreciate it all the same. Thank you. God bless.